edition of the morning program, The Wake Up Crew. This is the first edition for the week this Monday, and we have guests who are here to create awareness on gender-based violence. They are here to encourage survivors to speak out and also help perpetrators. You see, they are here so that we can denounce acts of gender-based violence. They use spoken word poetry to create awareness. They use it as a healing pill. This morning, we are honored to have Tani Desmond Awa Mottanni. He's a spoken word poet, and he's head of the projects Out, DarkLight, and Bruises, which has just been released. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you very much, Ola.
We also have Zita Ngek. She is the CEO, New Breed Africa Foundation, artist, musician, Afro spiritual. Good morning and welcome.
Thank you so much. Honor.
Last but not the least, we have Jumanu Constance. She is the team leader at Global Action for Community Development, GBV, that's Gender-Based Violence Advocate and Child Protection Expert. Good morning, Constance, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Lola. Morning.
Okay, you're here because you have released some poems, poetry, spoken word, and the main focus is on creating awareness on gender-based violence. I think we begin from there. I begin with you, Desmond. Tell us a little bit about that project.
Right. The project is just about raising awareness, as you've said. And there have been a lot of cases of gender-based violence, domestic violence, verbal violence nowadays. Last year and nowadays, mostly online and offline. So, after working on a project with a friend, Coach Lanjo, and that project was about looking at the consequences of the coronavirus on the family. We got to realize that a lot of violence occurs in the home. A lot of violence occurs in the home. Then, while doing our research, we realized that children, they learn more than 50% of what they learn is from observation, from what they see, what they hear from their immediate environment. So if the home is full of violence, then these children are bound to have violence embedded in them unconsciously. So we got to realize that when there is a squabble between the mother and the father, if they get physical with each other, these children, they see it and they think that that's how love is being expressed. And when they grow up, they feel like, okay, love is expressed violently, and they start expressing it in that same way. And in the course of whether there is separation between parents, the idea is when the mother looks at the son, he sees the father, and when the father looks at the daughter, he sees the mother, and the rage that both of them carry, they exhibit it on these children. And these children, being young and are not able to reason that much, will always feel like, okay, whatever mama is doing to me or whatever papa is doing to me, they are doing it for love. So that means this is how love is being expressed. And that is how they learn gender-based violence. And if they grow up and they are never exposed to another way of expressing love, they feel like this is love. So when they get involved in relationships, they feel like, okay, for me to show love, I need to go violent.
And it's true that the violent act, gender-based violence, doesn't just begin. If you want to find out from the root, you will know that you discover that maybe one of the parents or somebody was perpetrating violence, and the children, it just became part and parcel of them. I don't know if you want to agree with me, Zita.
Yes, I truly agree, because one of the reasons why I particularly took this project, Bruises, personally, is because I grew up in a home where there was a lot of violence. I'm from a polygamous family, and I grew up watching my dad beat my mom like breakfast, lunch, supper, dinner. So it affected me a lot. To me, I started looking at every other man like a violent man, and I started building my mind towards defending myself as a lady against men's violence, because I saw how my mother was beating time without number, and she would still stay there. So I was like, okay, if this is how marriage is supposed to be, then I think I need to do something about being able to fight back to stay alive, because she almost lost her life at one point. So I started having this resentment against men, which is one of the reasons why till now I've not gotten married, because it actually took me a period to start getting over it, and I lost some opportunities. So I really do I relate to Bruises a lot.
You know, these are experiences that when we share, some people might not believe, but you know, it is because of the torture, the pains that you saw your mother go
Yeah,
through, that, as you say, it is up to this time that you see men like they are violent, they are not good. You just expect that every man
would be like
would
that.
be like that.
It
Meanwhile,
really
yeah, it has
affected me a lot.
affected you. I want to turn to Jumanu Constance. She is the team lead at Global Action for Community Development and a GBV advocate and child protection expert.
Mhm.
You are a GBV advocate.
Yes.
Give us a situation on the ground.
Okay. Why I just like Zita, why I related so much to this project Bruises on gender-based violence by Mottanni is because it's the reality. I've listened to the album and it's the reality on ground. It's what we are facing every day. It's what we are attending to every day. Sometimes we know the perpetrators, and when you get to listen to their own side of the story, you actually see reasons with what he said, like they need healing as well. Sometimes there's no justification for rape or whatsoever, like we say, there's no justification for violence, but like he said, it is because these people are not aware about a lot of things, and that is why they need healing, they need awareness, and they need to be healed from whatever they are going through, whatever the experiences that have caused them to be violent, whatever is causing them to react like that. Is it alcohol, is it whatsoever is causing them to act that way? They really need healing from those things, and that's why I see that it is necessary that people get to consume this, because once you're listening to the art, the piece of art, it's creating an awareness from within. As you listen and it resonates with what is inside of you, it's creating a healing, and it either validates or raise your consciousness to some of the things that we are trying to bring out in the album.
Bruises is like a healing pill. It is a healing pill.
It
And
is.
you know, most often those gender based violence advocates, they only concentrate on the survivor and they condemn the perpetrators.
True.
Why should they do that? Yes, the survivor is the focus.
Mhm.
The survivor is the victim, let me put it that way, is the person who has suffered.
Mhm.
But you also have to find out what happened before
What
this,
prompted
what
the
prompted
person?
the person to do what he did, perpetrated violence on that person.
True.
Although there is no justification for rape, there is
Mhm.
no justification for violence, for battery, and all of that, but you have to get the root cause. I think Desmond, that is it.
Yeah, I think what you've said is basically the truth. And we say if you really want to help somebody, you must go down to their level and understand their level of thinking. Then that's the only way you can uplift them. But if you keep looking down on them, if you keep condemning what they did without going down to their level to understand them, in the long run, whatever change you impose on them is not going to be sustainable. So that is why we are going all the way to go to the perpetrators, find out the level of understanding, the environment in which they grew up in,
Yeah.
the kind of things they've been involved in, so that you can give them sustainable solutions. Because I believe that community based solutions are sustainable solutions. So we have to go down to the community, the quarters to which they grew up in, and find out what was going on so that we can help the perpetrators, and also by so doing we are helping the victims and also the survivors.
This project, Bruce's, is bringing a change
Yes.
in advocacy when it comes to
Yes, true.
gender-based violence, because most often, let's save the survivor, let's condemn the
The
perpetrator.
perpetrator.
But now you are saying we can save the survivors, then we can heal the perpetrators to make a change, because most often we're like, okay, just slam them some
Yeah.
5 years in prison,
Yeah.
just give them some fine to pay, and after that, after a while, they go back
Go back
to
to
the
it
to
again.
the same. So how long did you take to come out with this healing pill? I still insist, a healing pill, yeah,
It
for
is.
both the survivor
It
and
is.
the perpetrator,
It
Bruce's.
is. It is. It took us close to 6 months to produce this. One reason being that we had to do a lot of research on the information that is available about GBV, so that whatever comes into the poetry pieces should be something that is backed by research. Then another challenge we faced too was to be able to find out which producer can be able to actually bring out the emotions from the instrumentals, not just the words. Which producer will be able to, and which producer. And luckily, we found Ringway Charles of Hilltop Music Academy, who could interpret from the instrumentals. So you can listen to just the instrumentals of Bruises and you'll get the message without the poems. So we had to look for him. Then we had to also get other forms of art. Musicians are already singing a lot about gender-based violence. Painters are doing a lot. So we thought of using something that we're already used to. That's why we had to get musicians. That's why you have Zita Light here, which is an Afro-spiritual gospel artist. And then we had to get Ngek Lois so that they can also come in and amplify the message. Then one other thing that made us took so long too is that after doing the first take and recording, then what happened is the machine of the producer crashed and we lost everything. We
had
lost
to start
everything.
back from square zero.
We had to start back from scratch. And the beautiful thing is that Coach Lanjo will always say that all things happen for a particular reason. Yes, because during the process of recreation, what was recreated was better than what existed. What was recreated was better than what existed. And then at the long run now, we said, okay, we have our artist, we have our producer. Now let's get other poets too so that they can say something. That's why we had to get other poets to involve. We had to do an open call for poets who would like to be part of the project to join in. And we have like 4 different poets that are also part of this project so that we can help raise the awareness. We can help bring healing to this community that we are. Because as you have said, there are cases of gender-based violence that go scot-free because the people are either influential or have the money. So how do we build people, their consciences, to understand, to be able to do the right thing, not because they are afraid of the law, but because it is good to do the right thing. Yes. So that's why this is about.
Okay.
That's
Have
so
anything to add?
beautiful. I really like it. I really like the project because I work with a lot of youths who go through most of these things. They are either into addictions or one thing or the other. They have suffered some of these things, and I realized that it is very easy for you to just condemn them because of their actions. You really do not understand where they are coming from. What is the
root cause.
machinery that's actually producing all of that? So I had to learn how to love them as they are first, and then get to talk with them gradually. As I talk with them, I got to understand that sometimes they do that because of what they have built for years. They have grown up in those kind of environments. So it's normal to them. What you and I look at to be abnormal, to them, it is very normal. Like when I visited sex workers to talk with them, I noticed that there are a lot of them there who already have buildings. They have actually constructed buildings that they rent out to other sex workers, that those that are just being introduced. So there are some that are acting as mediators, and then some of them live there. They give birth to their children. They grow under that same environment. Imagine a child right from the womb experiencing that sexual intercourse every day, because the mom has to do that to be able to raise a child. And then some of those children grow in it until they are teenagers, and then they join. The case with those ones would be terrible. It will be worse than their parents because they had it from conception. So it is it's like part of their DNA. To them, it is a normal life. So when you are telling them that no, this one isn't really something
They won't see reasons.
they won't see
reasons with you. Yes.
Like just like everybody has been asking me that why not married? Why not married? But there was something right inside of me those days that would tell me that if you dare this thing, you might just fall
End up
into
like
the
your
hands
mom.
of somebody that will treat you like your mom. So I started learning how to do karate.
To be defensive.
To be defensive. I was making up my mind that, okay, yes, I'm going to marry. Yes, I'm going to make sure that I will not be troublesome. But if my husband dares me, the way I will beat him will be in a way that you never dare it
That's
again.
already planning
So
violence before.
yes. So you see, it was now in
Inborn.
me because I grew up in the environment till my 30s. I kept seeing it every day. So that's it. But I thank God that gradually with this awareness and with the fact that I got to meet God along the way, I now started discarding those things. I'm fighting with it every day. When those thoughts are coming, I'm trying to read this, listen to poems like Bruises to be able to make sure that I don't allow those wounds to cause me to wound other people.
Constance?
Okay, just from the perspective of advocates, I think Bruises is really a piece that we can exploit. Another strategy, we can exploit our advocacy from this angle through our therapy sessions with survivors, trauma healing sessions. Maybe we can use Bruises for the survivors to actually say their stories, because once you start listening to Bruises, you start getting this inner calling to express whatever you are feeling inside. So if advocates, if GBV actors can make good use of this piece, it will really go a long way to advocate for whatever we are advocating for, because it helps the survivors tell their stories by themselves. It also helps the actors to have an enabling environment for both survivors and both perpetrators.
Desmond, I want you people to do an excerpt. Do us something small so the listeners can just enjoy a piece of this project, Bruises.
All right. Let me take Bruises 1.
Okay.
Bruises 1, because it's about the origin of why gender-based violence began. All right. I was so young. Everything I did, you applauded strong. When I hit you, you said I was developing well, I was becoming the man. When I talked without control, you said I was building my vocals, I was standing up for myself. Everything I did, you justified it with, na small pikin. You know sabi wetin he dey do. But who be get for teach me the correct thing for do? I was just a toddler, some say. But I can remember vividly how you rain insults on Papa day in, day out, as if they were his admission fees or nutrients and vitamins required for daily living. Thank God he was strong enough not to raise a hand, but when I saw it, I thought it was the way, so I decided to walk your way, and now my body hurts because you led me astray. When Papa left you, you felt so rejected and dejected that when you turned around and saw me, all you could see is him in me and the rage for the gender you poured on me, punishing me for the sins of my father, which I knew nothing about. What could I do, Mama? For I loved you and interpreted your actions for love and thought the only way to show love was the way you showed it to me. How untrue. That's just an excerpt.
Thank you very much. And you are just, while you're doing the excerpt, I can feel it. A young child regretting that I am who I am today because I saw it from my parents.
Very true.
And now, how did Zita Light, how do you come in here? Maybe through your songs. You can do us an excerpt too.
Well, in that one, I was practically crying.
Okay.
I was just crying in the African way, and we know how our mothers cry.
That's beautiful. Don't cry. I just wanted a piece of it, just to get a tip of it. Yeah. And you know,
I cried a lot
because you are putting yourself in it, and you understand what the women go through when they go through this pain. So how many episodes, if I have to ask, if I have to use that word?
It's okay. It's okay.
That you...
the Bruises contains 5 tracks.
Okay,
5
tracks?
poems. Mm-hmm. Yes, 5 poems. If I say 5 poems, and most of the poems were written by you have Tani Diawa, you have Coach Lanjo, who was supposed to be here, and Asographer Marie-Therese, but we had to get a lady too, so that they can be able to moderate and give the woman side perspective of Bruises. So he has 5 tracks, and some of the tracks now are interlaced with amazing vocals like hers and Ngek Lois.
So that's the first track that you gave an excerpt. I want to
Yes.
get the feat, the feat poem.
The feat poem. The feat poem is the collabo.
Okay.
That contains so many points.
Okay.
Yes, it contains so many points. But the only thing, I think the feat poem, the feat track, I did not do much. The only thing I said was, treat her not as she deserves. Treat her better than she deserves. Which signifies that you don't treat people, I don't believe you treat people the way you want to be treated, but you treat them better than you would love to be treated. Because if I treat you the way I want to be treated, the way I want to be treated, you may not want that same way to be treated. So I only treat people. I think that whether the lady is putting on a short skirt or whether she's at the wrong place, don't treat her because she's at that wrong place. Treat her better than she deserves. If she's wearing a short dress, treat her better than that short dress that she's putting on.
I know at the start of the program you mentioned some of the challenges that you faced. I don't know, was it all a bed of roses apart from the machine crashing and all of that? What were the other challenges that you faced?
Yeah, it wasn't all a bed of roses. The one other challenges that we faced was to also get especially a perpetrator to be able to speak and to explain the reasons why they are finding themselves in the position where they are perpetrating the act. Because some of them will tell you after the act that they don't know what came over them.
The work of the devil.
Yes, they don't know what came over them. The devil has been suffering a lot.
I'm telling you.
For nothing. That is why when you look at the track 3 there, you understand the track 3 is the perpetrator realizing himself after he has carried the act and trying to help the victim after he has carried the act and the victim is running, before it's dawning on him that this is what I have done.
And that is why you see most ladies, you're in a relationship, your partner, your husband, your spouse will give you a slap and later on regret that, I don't know, you pushed me and all of that. And he starts trying to make amends, get you a car, get you a dress. But they say when they give you a slap, you should run away, because if not, your head might go off someday.
Yeah. It's like a spirit takes over. So we believe, because one thing we believe so much, and I learned this from nubianah Foundation, that the first way to change people is first of all love them. And when you love them, you must not think that they must change. You just keep loving them. Then you have to understand that if someone is strong, if someone is daring enough to cause pain on another human being deliberately, then that other person is sick.
So how can we get this point? Because I want to believe that you should meet managers of radio stations, get to those who are GBV advocates, and even in schools, so that they can listen to it.
That's very true.
So how far have you gone with it? That's communication, media, campaign, or outing?
Yeah, so far it's been amazing. We have started with the radio because that is the best way to get to the masses. Because we are on the internet, but we have realized that the internet coverage in Cameroon is quite low. So that's why we are going to the radios to be able to get to as much people as possible. But the poems, the EPs are available online on inodigital.com, where you can purchase with the ebook. Alongside the ebook, you can purchase with Momo, whatever you have, and it will be sent directly to your phone. And it's also available worldwide. Because we want everybody in the world, because gender-based violence happens here, it happens in America, it happens everywhere in the world. So it's also available online on bandcamp.com, where they can buy and pay. And also we also are aware that so many people are not tech savvy to be able to navigate the internet to get it. So you can always just get to me. I don't know if it's okay to give the numbers here, so that we can send to you through WhatsApp or through Telegram. All you need to do is just support the project so that we keep moving. So you can get to me with the numbers 695 614 947, 695 614 947, or you try the other number 699 444 555, 699 444 555. All you have to do is just talk about, say you want the album, you want to support the project. We'll send it to you directly to your WhatsApp, whether you are an advocate or wherever you are. The main purpose of this project is to sensitize and also to heal, make our people understand that we must not always depend on the law. The law is good, quite all right, But how do we treat each other as humans, not being afraid of the law?
Unless it gets to extremes, then we can go to
Then we
the
can go
law.
to the law.
But we should try to
Yes.
solve it amicably.
Amicably.
Time is not on our side. I think I will just go around the table, maybe word of encouragement, take home message to those listeners. Begin with you, Atanchi Zita Ngek, CEO, New Breed Africa Foundation, artist, musician, Afro-spiritual musician.
Thank you so much. One thing I would just like to say is that if it really gets very violent, first of all, you need to stay alive. So leave the environment so you can be alive. And I believe that Bruises is not canceling the hand of the law, but we are just saying that while we are targeting the law to sort things out, to put things in order, we should also be trying to heal the wound so that even after the law, the person will not repeat the act again, because the goal should always be helping every human be the right person.
Thank you very much, Atanchi Zita. And I turn to Jumanu Constance, team lead at Global Action for Community Development, GBV advocate, child protection expert.
Okay. My word of encouragement is to survivors, that they should know that there are people out here who are thinking about them every day, and we are thinking of ways in which we can make them feel better. They can gain back their life and go back out there and create the impact that they are supposed to create, and that is the reason for Bruises. They should grab a copy, listen to it, and seek for help. They should speak out, break the silence, and go for help. It is very important, and we are right here.
Thank you very much. And I end with you, Tani Desmond Awa, spoken word poet, and the brain behind this project. You had the first one, DarkLight, and this one that has just been released, Bruises.
What I want to say, especially to survivors, is that never ever give someone the opportunity to ruin your life. The fact that it has happened does not mean that is the end of you. You can still get up, you can still do amazing things. But if you don't, then you are giving more power to that perpetrator. Make sure you rise and make them understand that what you did cannot stop me from the destiny and the purpose to which I was made.
Thank you very much, Tani Desmond, Atanchi Zita, and Jumanu Constance, for being my guests on this edition of the Wake Up Crew, where our focus has been on gender-based violence, how we can use spoken word poetry to create awareness and as a healing pill. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so
for
much.
having us.
Thank you.
And it's here we will put a cap on this first segment of the program where we had the guest, and we take a musical interlude at this juncture. When we come back, we get into the world of the different slots. Stay tuned. Thank you.
It wasn't about what you wore.